Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Study with Us at Osaka University program. First is some announcement regarding rules of engagement. So please, for the audience, uh, while during the presentation, please refrain from turning on your mic. So please turn them off the whole time. And then for the questions, may I ask you to please write your questions in the chat. And then after all the presentations are finished, we will read the question. We will read the questions in the chat and also accept new questions after all the presentations have been finished. So if again, good morning everybody. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. So today we will thank you very much for your time, and so we will give a presentation about how studying at Osaka University. And then, as a promise to you, first thing maybe you will learn is what about Osaka University and about Osaka, Japan. And the next promise would be that you can learn something about what you can do in Osaka University and also how you can use Osaka University to open up opportunities for you in the future. So without further blah blah blah, I continue. So first, what do you know about Osaka? So Osaka is here is a map of the Japan. Very simple. It looks like a seahorse. And at the center, you will find Osaka, surrounded by Kyoto, Kobe, Nara, and Tokyo is here. And as you can see, it's very cultural in the sense that you have many nice sceneries, beautiful places, and so on, historical places. You can learn something or see many beautiful things in Osaka. Next is how safe is Osaka? So the Global Livability Index in 2019 shows it's ranked number 4. So very safe, very easy to live, very comfortable. Education, cultural wise, environment, and so on, infrastructure is high. As a reference, for example, the number 1 is Vienna in Austria, and Tokyo is ranked number 7. And yes, if you're wondering why there is no 2020 Global Livability Index, they didn't do because of what you know is happening around. Cannot travel anyway. Next is then, so next is introduction, going directly to Osaka University, some facts and figures. So the route is, we can trace our route to two schools. One is called the Kaitokdo, which is a school made or of merchants. They made the school to study merchants. You know, they do trade, especially with uh, foreign countries. So they have to do some science so on. And Tekijuku is another school that is studying Dutch and medicine. So you can see that in some sense, Osaka University has a strong foundation in medicine, science, engineering. And of course, the history goes 1931, it became uh, an imperial university. And the important thing here is it's not a university that is made by the government, but that started out as an initiative from the merchants around Osaka. And then, so it's more, and then the rest is history. And we have 4 campuses in Toyonaka, Mino, Suita, and Nakanoshima. One Nakanoshima is in the center of Osaka, and the airport, Kansai Airport is very near, and also another airport near Osaka. Wow, I see. So I should, and of course, regarding the schools, we have undergraduate and graduate schools, degree giving schools. So There are 11 undergraduate schools and 16 graduate schools. More graduate schools, more on research, undergraduate schools for basic education and so on. And in addition to that, we have also some 6 research institutes and research centers and facilities that could be used for all. And of course, we have the university hospital and 4 university libraries. The university hospital is very important. This is most. This is where most all the revenues. I mean, the funding most likely comes from this university hospitals. And with regard to famous researcher, I mentioned earlier that Osaka University is famous for medicine. So immunology is a very strong research field, and we have 4 famous, at least here we show 4 famous professors, 4 famous professors who are in immunology. And another interesting thing is robotics. So here, humanoid robotics. One is 2 professors here are shown. They do some fancy research in robotics. And another special feature of Osaka University is Osaka University strongly collaborates with the industry. So industry university collaboration. So you can see, or you will see that we have industry in campus. It means that the industry people come to do research in the university together with the students of Osaka University. So students, if they join these groups, they get to see their research finally being realized as products that are or that can be found in around in the city and so on. And of course, there are also other partnerships. So partnerships, like I said to you, what opportunities can you find? So we are also connected internationally. So if you study in Osaka University, we can also connect you to other institutes and research institute all over the world. So there are some academic initiatives that we have, for example, with Bangkok here in Thailand and other Southeast Asian countries. And these are some of the list of or the pie chart of academic exchange agreement. We have inter-university agreements and inter-faculty agreements. Just to give you, and then this is for some international collaboration. The how many the international students where they come from, mostly from Asia, from China, and some from Middle East, North America, and so on. By the way, I didn't mention that Osaka University is the largest university in Japan in terms of student population. So that I forgot to mention. And okay, so starting at the Osaka University, we have 4 terms: spring term, summer term, fall, winter. School year starts from April and then ends in March, usually. But for some of the special classes, special courses, they start fall, October, and then end September.
Osaka University. Open U in Osaka. About studies. Hi, I'm Osaka Bond. Osaka tourism supporter. I really want to study abroad at Osaka University, one of the top universities in the world. I wonder what daily life is like for the students who go to Osaka University. Let's ask them.
シーウーです。私は物理学勉強をしています。中国から来ました。I'm studying the nuclear structure, how to construct the nuclear from the quarks and gluons inside of it. When I was choosing graduate schools, what I'm most care about the research abilities, such as rankings, and I found that the Osaka University has a very, very good high energy theory group. And there are string theories studying there, and I'm mostly interested in that, so I choose those. I think the research environment in my group is very good. I can discuss with any professors, and they can give a lot of information, and I can discuss with them anytime. That really helps me to understand physics a lot. Yeah, that's how I'm very glad at studying at the Osaka University. I sometimes go around the Kansai area, for example, Kyoto, for example, Nara, and I especially like the temples in Kyoto. They are very delicate. Go there with my Japanese friends in my life. Actually, I'm really interested in this nuclear structure, so I really want to effective way of calculating this nuclear structure from QCD. And also, I also want to understand the quantum gravity. It's some like things inside of black holes. Yeah, I think that is also the aim of all the whole theoretical community. Hi guys, please come to study at Osaka University. The atmosphere here is very good. The professors are very nice and people are very friendly. You will enjoy your life here.
So, what did you think? Did you get an idea of what studying abroad at OU is like? If there's anything you need to know, contact us at any time.
Program in English. One there is an international undergrad program in science, and initially, for example, you have 1.5 years in, so 1.5 year the programs gives you the classes in English, and then followed by classes in Japanese. So initially, you don't need to know Japanese. It will be taught to you during your stay here. And for the graduate programs, you have science, engineering, engineering science on. These are just the number of classes that are, courses, programs that are being taught is exclusively in English. And there are also non-degree programs, Frontier Lab program and OSEP. So for the question, do you need to know English? Japanese? No. English? Yes. And general flow, because the procedure changes depending on the graduate school that you are interested in, it's better to get some information directly from the corresponding graduate schools. But the first thing, ideally, is to contact or to identify the potential supervisor that you have. Contact them directly and discuss your interests and so on. And then after that, everything follows. So they will be supporting you throughout once you get a good relationship with the potential supervisor. The most important thing is to get a good impression with the potential supervisor and get to understand what they're doing, get them to understand what you want to do, and get to agree on what you can do together. And also a good advice I can give you, or what I would recommend, is do not jump directly into the program. it's better to do or start as a research student. This would give you a chance to get a feel of the surroundings and also get to see where you are in the big picture and so on and so forth. Anyway, and other opportunities. So not only do you get degree, but you can also get double degrees. So one degree from one study and another degree from another study. I remember I told you that we have connections with other universities around the world. So it's possible to, at the same time, if you do a hard work, get one degree from Osaka University, get another degree from another university abroad on two different subjects. And for example, we have this program with Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Brunei, and so on. You can also serve as a catalyst. For example, you want to do research with something, we can also initiate and make some program together with another new university somewhere else. So this is just to show you that we have this program about double degree. And then this is just a list of all the exchange programs. So these are non-degree exchange programs that we have depending on your needs, which you can find also later if you are interested. And with regard to uh, exams, so there is some schedule that starts July and ends in April. So the screening process is as follows. Anyway, you can still also find this anywhere. And the most important thing is other resources, support services, facilities, and so on. So regarding finance, this is another movie just to show you how. So I will just show.
Osaka University. Open You in Osaka. About money. Hi, I'm Osaka Ball, Osaka tourism supporter. I really want to study abroad at Osaka University, one of the top universities in the world. I wonder what daily life is like for the students who go to Osaka University. Let's ask them.
My name is Hasin Mapisansin. I'm a third year student of the Chemistry Biology Combined Major Program and the Department of Chemistry of the School of Science. I live in an apartment with private facilities, so I don't share anything with any people. It's not a big place, but it fits one person quite perfectly, so I'm totally fine with what I have. Well, in my first year in Osaka University, I got a private room in the students' dorm in campus, which is quite convenient and cheap. And that was a very good chance for me to get to know things around here and people around here. After that, I moved to a new place, which is here. It's also convenient, even though it's a bit further from campus. 10-15 minutes walk is totally fine for me. And if you use your bike, it takes even less time. Well, the cost of living in Japan is, of course, higher than that in Thailand. But once you enter the university, there are a lot of ways that can help you save money. For example, tuition fee exemption and scholarships. There are a lot of available scholarships for international students. They may come from the government or private companies or private organizations. Well, actually, in most cases, when people see me, they can tell right away that that I'm a foreigner, basically. And but surprisingly, they try to speak slowly or speak in a normal dialect as opposed to Kansai dialect. That was quite impressive, but still, when I first came here, I couldn't understand it. Everything they said, and that was still the big problem. Again, once you start to once you're familiar with your life here and people in general. You kind of understand them little by little, and that's a progress you make when you live here. Cooking is my hobby actually, and cooking sometimes makes me relax and free from stress, which is a very good thing. So I usually cook a lot of food, and I sometimes cook for other people. And yeah, I keep changing my menu all the time. So yeah, I cook. I actually go to school every day, but doesn't mean I'm busy all day. I usually have lunch or dinner with other people, friends or professors, and sometimes I visit my friends in other cities in Japan, and we go travel together. Well, for me, Osaka is the right place because Osaka is like a center of Kansai area, and you can enjoy a lot of tastes living in Osaka because you can travel to Kyoto or Kobe or Nara. It's quite easy to to travel from Osaka to these places and enjoy many different views or many different environments. That's so Osaka is a good place and the right choice.
It looks like they're really enjoying their time at OU, not to mention the hard work they put into their studies. But I wonder how much the cost of living is for international students. Here is a breakdown of 1 month's expenses for an international student at Osaka University. Cost of living for international students living in Osaka is about 100,000 yen per month. This isn't much different than the average cost of living in Japan. Osaka is one of the biggest cities in the world, but the cost of living isn't as high as you think. Food and housing expenses for international students at Osaka University can total anywhere between 60,000 and 150,000 yen per month. The average is about 100,000 yen. Food expenses average at about 30,000 yen. Utility costs are about 7,000 yen, and housing expenses range from about 25,000 to 60,000 yen, the average being about 40,000 yen. Housing expenses make up a large portion of the cost of living, but staying in a dormitory or boarding house can make housing much less expensive. You can use services like Skype and Line when you want to talk with your friends and family back home. There is free Wi-Fi that students can use on OU's campuses, so use it to your heart's content. About cafeterias. Most international students prepare their own meals. But there's always something to eat at Osaka University's cafeterias. They've got everything from single order items to full meals, all at low prices to boot. OU's famous Tenshin Mabodon, or Mabo rice bowl, will fill your belly and won't empty your wallet. So many choices, and all of them delicious. It's like a dream come true for students here. Part-time jobs. Your studies at university are very important, but there are also international students who work a part-time job in their free time. Working as a private school teacher, an interpreter, and even a waiter or waitress are all popular choices. On top of learning about Japanese society, you'll be able to learn about Japanese hospitality, or omotenashi, and even train your Japanese language skills. Scholarships. So we know about how much living is going to cost, but I wonder if there are any kinds of support systems for living and school expenses. There are a number of scholarship systems at Osaka University. Of the international students studying at OU, about 40% of them utilize some kind of scholarship system. There aren't a large number of spots, but in addition to the Japanese government scholarship program and honors scholarships for privately financed international students, there are scholarships from local municipalities and scholarships from private foundations, etc. In addition to scholarships, there is also an exchange student system for students who are enrolled in universities in an exchange agreement with Osaka University. These students can study at OU without the need for entrance and tuition fees. For more information, please take a look at our brochure and the official homepage of Osaka University. You can also contact the staff at OU by sending an email to this address. And of course, we can answer emails in English as well, so please feel free to contact us. So what did you think? Did you get an idea of what studying abroad at OU is like? If there's anything you need to know, contact us at any time.
So just to show you again, so the tuition fee, for example, is around this much, 200, around 92,000 for enrollment, and then for tuition it's around 535 per year. Well, but you can also get some, like he said earlier, some tuition fee exemptions, and there are some scholarships available. And we also have some global villages where you have dormitories and these three campuses in the places nearby. And then, yes, and also there are student centers for you to go to when you get into problem. Of course, other staffs will also support you, but in particular, there are student centers in Suito, Teonaka, and Mino, and for your other needs. And you can also get consultation, training, for example, for your career when you want to, for the next career, let's say you want to find some job or for job hunting and so on. So, for example, there are job fairs. Here, they just show you some where they are holding a job fair. And then, yes, so this is the final slide. So all the information I showed you earlier, you can find at this, just look up this website. And or you can Google study at Osaka University. And then you also get the same information. And if you cannot find, just email us wherever. I think there is information. So again, I want to ask you to put your questions in the chat and we will read them out later. So for the next part of this presentation, or this session is some experiences from Filipino students who are studying or who have successfully entered Osaka University and are doing their best to succeed more. So for that, I pass on the baton to Cecile and I stop sharing.
Okay, so as I've said, good afternoon to those people there in the Philippines. We'll start the next session, and it's about the experiences of Osaka University students. So we have 5 students to share their experiences. Maybe just a short discussion or sharing of what they have experienced and what they did to enter the university. So without further ado, let's start off with Miss Nina Arellano. Uh, Nina, you can now share your slides.
So I'm gonna share my screen. So hello everyone, I'm Nina Arellano and I'm a second year master's student here in Osaka University. And today I'm gonna present more on how I got into Osaka University from short-term program to 5 years master's to PhD program. And I hope you will find this helpful. So first, I just want to briefly share about my background. So I got my bachelor's degree in materials engineering in UP Diliman last 2017. And then I started working as a quality assurance engineer in Dyson Electronics. But after some months of working, I felt that my job was a bit routinary and not really technical. So I wanted to explore more. And that's why I enrolled part-time masters in UP while working. And while doing so, I saw this poster for a short-term program in Osaka University. And at that time, I was still exploring. So I just applied and see what happens. And then apparently I got in. After some thinking, I resigned from my job. I flew to Japan and uh, tried to see if I will survive for 1 year. And apparently, I enjoyed I enjoyed my short-term program. That's why when I saw this opportunity for a 5-year master's PhD program here in Osaka University with scholarship, I wanted to apply. I consulted my advisor in the Philippines if it's possible for me to apply and if it's okay. And then I applied. And so I got in, and then I withdrew my enrollment from my master's in UP. And so now I'm graduating from my master's here and gonna continue to my PhD this October. For my short-term program, this is the poster I saw back then. So this short-term program is held yearly by the Quantum Engineering Design Course, or QEDC, here in Osaka University. So QEDC is an English-based program, and in QEDC, research done is mostly on first principles calculations, so more on like physics, math, engineering, and coding. So in this program, you can be a student under a laboratory and do simulation research there for a year. This program is open to people doing master's or PhD, and then may monthly allowance then, in which yung amount is, I think, enough for daily expenses. I think aside from the QEDC short-term programs, Dino Sensei also shared other short-term programs available. So yeah. Uh, mm, and then how I got into my master's degree with scholarship is through MEX University recommendation. So basically, the most common scholarship that students have here in Japan is the MEX scholarship. You can apply for that through two methods. Option one is through the Embassy of Japan in the Philippines. Option two is through university recommendation, I think if they have slots. So while in my short-term program, I found out that QEDC had 2 recommendation slots for masters at that time. And so I applied for it. I think one way you can know if a program in Osaka University have slots for university recommendation, aside from shinare ni Professor Dino kanina, is you can look at the website of the program or the graduate school. Like this top photo here is the website of the Graduate School of Engineering Science, and the bottom one is the Graduate School of Engineering. So while in my short-term program, I found out, usually the application is from around November to January, I think. So, mahirap ba yung application? Syempre, may mga requirements na kailangan i-submit like documents and then recommendation letter. And then for QDC, we had an interview as well where we presented our past and present research works. And then lastly, this is mostly what I do here. I work on simulation and experiments. My research focus is on plasma physics. And these are our laboratory members. And as you can see, marami ring international students in our lab. Even more so, we have plenty of opportunities as well for international collaborations with experts from different countries. Personally, in my research, I'm collaborating with experts from Taiwan, Hungary, and Germany. And the bottom right photo is actually when I had the opportunity to go to Budapest for research. So that's it about me. If you have questions, you can ask later in the Q&A session. And I'm looking forward to having you guys here. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Nina, for that informative presentation. Now we move on to the next presenter, Mr. Mission.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So for today, I would like to encourage or inspire you at least to join us here in Osaka University. So my name is Christelle. I am a third-year doctoral student here in Osaka University. In the Philippines, my home university is the UPLB, where I took PS Biology and majored in ecology. For my undergraduate thesis, I was fortunate to work in International Rice Research Institute, where I was exposed in molecular training, and it also ignited my passion for research. After graduation, I joined the faculty of Environmental Biology Division, or the Institute of Biological Sciences. While working, I also took a master's in microbiology. So it was during the time when I was eager to look for other opportunities outside the country, because I wanted to go out of my comfort zone and try studying in other countries. So I applied in MEX and was able to enter Osaka University, where I had my degree in master's in engineering in this major, and I am fighting for my degree for PhD currently. And I'm doing still the same research in the zooplankton called Daphnia magna. So why did I choose to study in Japan? So we all know that Japan science and technology here is very advanced and refined. And Japan also has a rich culture and beautiful nature that you can enjoy. And why Osaka? Personally, I think Osaka is one of the best cities here in Japan because it has the balance of the urban and rural beauties of Japan. It's not as populated as Tokyo, but at the same time, you can enjoy the comfort or the convenience of the urban area in like Umeda or Namba, but at the same time, you can enjoy the peace and quiet of the rural side. And Osaka is also known as the food capital in Japan, and Osaka people are known to be fun and accommodating. And why Osaka University? It's one of the best universities here in Japan, and they are front runners in different fields in research. And they also offer various English programs, as what Dinya Sensei mentioned earlier. So one of the English program that is offered in Osaka University is the program I belong to. This is the Biotechnology Global Human Resource Development Program. Basically, the goal is to expose the students in state-of-the-art research and for students to have in-depth knowledge in these different fields. And this program is a 5-year course. You take 2 years of master's, and then you have 3 years for doctoral studies, and you can apply either during spring or autumn. So this is just a brief timeline of how I applied. I I went through the university recommendation as Nina mentioned earlier. And so basically I submitted the documents around December, these requirements, and then they would screen for the preliminary candidates a month after that. And then you will have to do examination or question and answer with different professors from the department. And there is also an interview. And then a month after that, you will have the result. You will know if you pass the entrance examination, and then they will be the one to endorse you or forward your application to the MEX or the scholarship body. So basically, if you pass the entrance examination and you have a laboratory to host you, most probably you will get the scholarship. And then, so here are just some of the advantages of studying here in Japan for me, especially in Osaka University. So aside from the technical or the knowledge or training you will get from the lab or the class, for me, you'll have develop personal growth. You will learn self discipline, time management, stress management, and all the life skills that you might need in the outside world. And also, the research ideas here is like free flowing. They encourage you to think outside the box. And another thing is the mentorship system here in the laboratories. You know, the senior, junior, or the senpai kohai. The senior trains you, and then eventually you'll be the one training your junior. So for me, it's a good experience because it doesn't just teach you to be workers, but they teach you to be leaders. And lastly, is the it's undoubtedly here in Japan the research facilities is really good. That's why they can support the research ideas. And in our department, these are the different laboratories. If you can see, these are the fields is very different from each other. So each lab would have different equipment or machines that will be used. And these are just examples of the high-end equipment we have in the department in our labs. There are different fluorescence microscope for different experiments. And then we have for DNA sequencing, you can have it the next day because the labs have their own DNA sequencer. And yeah, these are just some of the machines. And another thing that surprised me when I first came here, like you can personally order the agents and it will come the next day. And so in our laboratory, this is mostly what we do. We have this model organism called this Daphnia magna. This just want to show this is the dissection, and then in our lab we are the pioneer of the CRISPR-Cas, or we generate mutants from of Daphnia mutant Daphnia magnas. So we inject plasmid DNAs into the genome, or we can either knock down or silence genes using RNAs, and also inject proteins such as the CRISPR-Cas, so that we can make reporter Daphnias or other mutant lines. So for example, this one, it shows the reporter Daphnia that shows the development. And then this one is experiment where I silence this gene, and then the reporter Daphnia shows the activation of the other gene. And this is also the knockout using CRISPR-Cas. So aside from this serious research, one thing I enjoy most here in Japan is the lab activities. So it's not only fun, it's not only serious and business, but we also enjoy being in the lab. We have official lab trips during summer and winter. This is my sensei enjoying his favorite sports, which is skiing. And then our lab mates also enjoy going or traveling around and having parties for every occasions. And if you love sports, there are sports festivals in the university. And basically, we just celebrate life because, as you know, you spend most of the time with your lab mates, so they become not only your friends but your family here. So, last message, I just want to encourage you to don't be afraid, just try it. You'll never know what you'll experience here. So, sorry for taking so long. See you. I hope to see you here. If you have questions, we'll answer it later. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ms. Perez, for that fun presentation. May we now hear from, are you okay? Okay, may we now hear from Mr. Miguel?
Yes. I think I can share my screen now. Okay. Great. Okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to be talking about basically what the other people talked about already. So, pamanhin lang magtatagalog na lang ako kasi mas komportable sa Tagalog. Okay. So, hi guys. Ako si Miguel Francisco, master student dito sa Osaka University. And nasa Institute of Protein Research ako. And as you can probably guess, I study proteins. So a little, sorry. Okay. A little bit about me. So I'm a graduate of Ateneo de Manila in 2017. And this picture over here was taken directly after my thesis presentation. So pagod na pagod ako, tapos sobrang haggard ko. And that being said, I was also interested in pursuing research way back then. So I already had a research-oriented career in the Philippine Institute of Pure and Applied Research. And over here, I met some people who were doing research in Japan. And most of them were connected to University of the Philippines, UP. So yung ginawa ko, I managed to get some contact details and I began my work as a research assistant in UP and Ateneo de Manila University, honing my research skills as well. And just like Miss Nina Arellano over here, 2019, sumabak na ako sa Osaka University. Okay, so a little bit about my laboratory. This is just something about the laboratory life that we have. So I belong to the Laboratory of Cell Systems, and briefly stating, for those of you familiar with biology, we do bioinformatics, which is the processing of next generation sequencing data. So unfortunately, yung equipment namin hindi ganun ka fancy looking. I mean, it's still high grade, but it's more on the computative power of it. So I'm not going to show you all the equations that I use kasi ba makatulog lang kayo sa akin. So instead, I'm going to be talking about how I conduct my daily life here in Osaka University. So I belong, again, in the Laboratory of Cell Systems, and as the other laboratories before me, multicultural kami. And we have people from various disciplines, various nationalities, and actually various industries as well. So over here in the laboratory, I'll just use my laser pointer over here. We have postdocs from America. We have a worker from Roto Industrial Pharmaceuticals, which is an industrial biotechnology company here in Japan. And we also have people who who also did their postdocs and other studies in Europe and other places as well. And as mentioned before, yung mga programs dito sa Osaka University, luckily most of them are and most of them and most of the research is actually conducted in English. So kung medyo natatakot kayo na kailangan niyo mag-aral ng Nihongo, kaya naman siya. Pero for majority of your research, you will be conversing and conducting your research in English. Okay, and this, please don't worry. This was pre-COVID times, so lumalabas-labas kami before COVID. And the laboratory that I belong to is very relaxed in a sense na nagtatrabaho kami, yes, but at the same time, we also like going out because yung head professor namin is a huge fan of hiking. So we actually go hiking a lot in Fushimi Inari. Minsan napapapunta kami Kyoto or Nara or whatever dahil kailangan niya ng nag-aaya siya na minsan sa kalagitnaan ng research, sasabihin niya, uy guys, gusto niyo lumabas? Parang takas muna tayo sa laboratory for a bit. Sabay, hindi ka naman makakaindi sa sensei mo, di ba? E di, sige na nga, labas tayo. It's a very relaxing research environment, very liberal. And more than that, actually, more than just having fun, is the research is very integrated. That is to say, may mga professionals kami in the industry that specialize, for example, in cell culture, but we have a biomathematician from another university who also helps us with our computations. And we also have bioinformatics experts from like Germany na nakikitulong din sa discussion namin every lab meeting. I'm just going to show more fun pictures while I talk about the other not so engaging parts of my laboratory life. So again, my laboratory likes eating a lot. Maraming nagluluto sa amin. Maraming mga chefs sa laboratory namin. And we also have a lot of international students. So this is us eating, I think this is yakiniku. Yeah. Again, this is before COVID, so please don't worry. What else? Every week we conduct laboratory meetings and basically updating our progress to our sensei. And hindi siya gisahan session, if like that's what you're thinking. It's more of just like making sure that everybody is on the same track and everybody is informed rather of what everybody else is doing para may open communication between all the students and everything. And more than that, okay, this is another food trip session. Kumain kami ng cake kasi birthday ng isang tao. Actually, tapos na yung birthday niya pero gusto lang namin kumain ng cake. So everybody pitched in and bought a lot of cake and we ate over here. What's interesting over here is, again, yung flow nga ng research is very open and everybody, despite yung level of seniority, because we have people na bachelor student and we have people na high-level researcher na sobrang dami ng papers. Pero kapag nag-uusapan kayo, pantay-pantay lang kayo. And it's very welcoming and it's very refreshing change of pace na walang barrier sa pagko-collaborate sa science and daily life. And I think that's pretty much it. I really do encourage everybody to try and look forward to applying to Osaka University. It's quite honestly, the best research opportunity that I've ever had. And as I mentioned before, marami na ako napuntahan ng mga lugar. And yeah, I look forward to your application and see you soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Miguel. The next presenter would be Mr. Miko Aguilar. You can now share your.
Okay. So thank you, JL, and good morning, everyone. I'm Miko Aguilar from the Department of Information Physical Sciences. My motivation for studying at Osaka University is being able to do research while also exploring another culture at the same time. So for my admission, first I was interviewed by my current supervisor along with other professors. And during that same time, I was also applying for my scholarship, which is the JICA Innovative Asia Scholarship. Unfortunately, this program was already stopped, although JICA has other scholarship programs. Now, when I was admitted, first I was considered as a research student. A research student is a member of a lab that's neither a master student or a PhD student. So it's like an intern of the lab, right? So during this period, I had to make a research proposal presentation to a department committee, which served as my requirement for getting into the doctoral program. Now, during my research student period, the title is research student, but during this time, I was just mostly attending classes for 5 months. So these are daily intensive Nihongo classes. So every day for 5 months. So during this time, aside from learning Nihongo, I was able to learn more about the Japanese culture, and I get to meet other international students. So basically, this was a 5 month uh, cultural learning experience and cultural exchange. The culminating activity for this period was uh, being able to present my background and my simplified research plan in Nihongo. Although unfortunately right now, my Nihongo is still not that good. Uh, Nasimasen. Sumimasen. Um, Now, once I was a doctoral student, the regular activities at our lab are weekly presentations, which means either presenting your own research work or explaining a paper that you've read, attending courseworks or group studies. Group studies are essentially courseworks that are uncredited. Um, and of course, we have to constantly consult with our supervisor, and then writing research papers, which involves formulating models and writing proofs for our models. So these are building, and this is my messy cubicle. So these are my lab mates, and this is the so this table and this whiteboard, this is the most important part of our laboratory. Actually, that whiteboard is the most important equipment of our laboratory. Why? Because that's where we discuss our ideas as shown on the right on this part of the slide. So most of the papers, most of the ideas, most of the theories that our lab has published came from this whiteboard. All right. So one of aside from being able to satisfy your academic requirements, an extra motivation for writing research papers is being able to participate in academic conferences, which has allowed me to go to different parts of Japan. So some of them are just nearby, like Kyoto and Nara, but the others are also quite far. Like, of course, there's Tokyo, Kumamoto, which is in the southern island of Japan, and Fukushima. But aside from conferences, I was able to explore nearby places through the activities provided by JICA. So JICA regularly gives us activities. For example, one time we went to a farm where we were allowed to freely pick mikan. Mikan is like Japanese orange. Then we visited a traditional soy sauce factory, and one of the this one is one of the oldest tea shops in Japan. Also, we visited some of the popular tourist areas like the Himeji Castle, this Gyodo-in Temple, which is uh, the figure at the back of the 10 yen coin, and of course the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove. So these are all popular tourist destinations. One of the advantages of being in Osaka is that everything is uh, maybe 1 or 2 hours away. If you want the urban landscape, you can easily go to the Osaka city, maybe just 1 hour away. If you prefer historical places and arts, so you can go to Kyoto, which is right beside Osaka, and it's from 1.5 to 2 hours away. If you want to get closer to nature, you can go to Nara, which is also around 2 hours away. If you want the rural scenery, you can go to Wakayama or Shiga Prefecture. And then, of course, if you want something different, so something edgy or a bit modern, you can go to Kobe, which is around 2 hours away. So it's a good spot if you want to explore Japanese culture at Osaka. It's a good place to be. So that's all from my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miko, for introducing us in the cutting edge whiteboard that we use in the laboratory. So for the last presenter, that would be me. So hi, I'm JL. Marhay na hapon. That is a good afternoon from where I came from. I'm from the Bicol region, specifically from Naga City, so I'm from the province. After graduation in high school, I went to Manila to study my bachelor's program in Philippine Normal University. I'm a licensed professional teacher, and I went to De La Salle University for my master's in physics program. And currently, I'm a I'm under the double degree program between Osaka University and De La Salle University. I recently finished my final dissertation defense in both Osaka University and De La Salle University. So currently, I am grad waiting for the ceremony to graduate. So I started as a short-term student in Kasai Laboratory when I was in my master's program in De La Salle University. And this gave me an opportunity to do my master's research in Kasai Laboratory for 1 year. And these are my laboratory mates. Most of them are already graduates. Most of them are in different parts of Japan or different parts of the world. And one thing that I experienced in my short-term stay is the exposure to Filipino students here in Osaka, Kabayan. So these are some Filipino students and maybe graduates. This is the Filipino community in Osaka University. So maybe you can see some familiar faces of your friends, possibly. We have what we call PhilSo, the Filipino Student Society, Filipino Student Society in Osaka, right? Okay, PhilSo. And back then we had monthly activities. One of such is PhilSo Sports Fest, where we played Filipino games like Patintero, Tumbong Preso, etc. in one weekend. And in springtime, we also have a gathering. This is just inside the university. We had lunch under the sakura tree. So these are the students of Osaka. Some of them also are graduates of Osaka University and are currently working in Osaka University. And aside from fun times, we also have this Filipino Student Symposium where we presented our research. Even though we are in different disciplines, we shared our research to different professors also from the Philippines and Filipino postdocs or maybe working Filipino scientists in different parts of Japan as well. So I call this poster presentation as Chikahan with visual aids. And one advantage that we can get from that we got from this community of Filipino students and Filipino workers is to build networks. These people here that I'm showing in the slides were students of Osaka University when I was staying as a short-term student. Now they are experts in their fields. Dr. Alan Padama as a physics division head in UPLB. Dr. Ryan Arevalo was a former deputy dean and a Balik Scientist awardee. Dr. Elvis Arguelles is in University of Tokyo as a postdoc. Dr. Melvin Empizo in Institute of Laser Engineering in Osaka University, and Dr. Wilfred Espulgar in Department of Applied Physics, also as both of them are specially appointed assistant professor. And back then they were still students, and we hang out as PhilSo members. But now we build networks among these people and other more. Just to give you an idea about the Filipino community and Filipino students here in Osaka University, I would like to share a short video of how we welcomed some students last 2018 when Nina is still a new student back then. So hope you enjoy. So thank you very much for listening. Can you hear me now? Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentations and sharing your experiences. So we come to the most important part of the session is the questions and answer. So while we have some questions already in the chat. So I will read them and ask the people here to answer. And while doing that, if you have more questions, please put them in the chat. And so without, okay. So the first question I will, according to order, thank you. Oh, what are the requirements required in applying? So this is a question from Lee. So can I see Lee? So what do you mean by requirements? So like I said earlier, because this question is not so clear. First is you have to, the best advice I can give you is to contact the professor that you are interested in to do research with. If you do not have any idea what to do, there is a very simple way, and that is through uh, do the following. Do the following. I will show you what to do. So do the following. Is Google. So Google Osaka University Researchers Database. Then you will be seeing this researcher database. Then if you click that, you will come up to this research at OU. And then go to the researcher database. And here you put in, so you don't know who professor is, but you know what research you want. You just key in and search. And then you get into, let's say, whatever, physics. Just search physics, let's say. So when you write physics, so you get list of all the professors that are doing physics, plus some information, let's say, in organic materials, properties, and so on. And then what you can do is look them up in more detail and then maybe try to do first contact. Another thing that you can do is uh, what you can do also is to uh, ask maybe your if you belong to a university that has exchange agreement with Osaka University, you can get some information from them or contact the professor that your advisor, like what earlier they have said. Uh, any other thing you want to add? Ah, yes, please.
Howling po ba?
Huh?
Howling.
No, it's okay. I think.
Okay. So yeah, if you're gonna apply through MEX, usually yung requirements then if documents yung question mo is there's an application form that you fill up and then meron ding statement of purpose, usually yung research plan mo, and then certificate of graduation kung natapos ka ng bachelor's or master's, ganon, and then transcript of records, and then certificate of English as language of instruction or TOEFL or kung meron kayong IELTS. So, sagutin ko na rin yung question kanina dito. Merong question about how do you get a certificate of English proficiency. So yun, kung wala kang TOEFL or IELTS, usually nire-request mo siya sa admissions. Nirequest ko to sa UP admissions. Tapos binibigay naman nila. Then a recommendation letter, maybe one or two from professors. And then copy of passport. And then yung abstract ng graduation thesis mo rin, yung mga past research works mo. Tapos ayun, for documents.
Okay, thank you, Nina. So next we go to the next question by Reddy and Sak. Will you offer any short-term programs this year? I don't know. I'm not sure whether. Oh, yes, but to answer this, I think it's better to, like I said earlier, is to contact which program you are interested in, because there are these short-term programs because of the new normal. You may not necessarily have to be here physically for the program to be implemented. For example, if you are doing research or the experiment that you're doing can be done remotely, it may be possible. So it's better to contact the person directly that you are interested in. And then maybe, yes, uh, can give or you can work out a different arrangement because of the new normal, like I said. Any other people who want to? Yes, please.
For the shorter programs as well as what Dino Sensei mentioned, you can visit the website of the programs that he said, and or if you have friends that you know who is here in Osaka University, you can also ask them because sometimes they have information in their laboratories. Like for example, in my case, I only knew about the shorter program not because of some information from the website, but some friends of mine who are staying in Osaka University invited me to apply for a short-term QEDC program. So if you know some people or friends who are staying in Osaka University, you can ask them for possible short-term programs. That's all.
Thank you very much. So we go on to the next is from Winona Magnay. How long does the application process take? First, it depends on the program that you have. So, for example, it's max scholarship. It takes half a year. If it's short term, it can go from 1 month to 1 week to 1 day. I have an experience wherein we have a slot immediately that has to be filled, and we call somebody and have that person here already the same week. So it depends. That's why it's very important to get a friend inside. That is important, like what Jesse said and what they said. And and then you get more information that may not be available in the website. So that is one thing. That is any other thing you want to add? So if not, so we go to the next is from Rowena Ramos. Good morning. I would like just to inquire if Osaka University has options to have collaboration with universities in the Philippines, for example, University of University of the Philippines via sandwich programs for the PhD. Yes, yes. Answer is yes, always yes. So again, you just inform your professor in Osaka University of the Philippines, who I don't know which department of what field you are in, but just contact. And then if there is none, you be the catalyst. We can initiate new programs just for you to answer positively. Yes. And okay, next is from Patricia May Paraiso. Do you know how I can get a proficiency certificate English proficiency? Thanks. Was answered earlier, but for me, I think because you are from the Philippines, you are not required to give an English proficiency certificate anymore. That is the advantage of being a Filipino. Anyway, from Daniel Ruth Hipolito. Hi, Ms. Perez. I'm currently taking BS Biology in UPLB and also planning to study biology for my graduate studies. Any tips on how to formulate research proposals for the mix? Thank you. So please.
Okay, thank you for the question. So for the research proposal, my advice is you read through the laboratory or the department so you can see what are their current researches or what are their focus or research themes, and then you can fine tune your research proposal how you can match their work. Like what is lacking or where can you see yourself working in that kind of field or studies. So read about the lab, read about their researches, and then find what you are comfortable with. And then don't worry about the research proposal because it will still change once you enter. But it's a good point that you know it's a good point na you know what are they studying in the lab para makita nila yung interest mo talaga and willingness to learn. So, yan lang sa research
Yes,
proposal.
thank you, Krista. So she made a very good point that not only what they're doing, but what you can add to them. That is the most important part. I think that is what they will be looking for, the added value that you will join as a group member to them. Anyway, going back to the questions from Rowena Ramos. What is the age limit upon applying for PhD scholarship in Osaka University? Yes, this is a very unfortunate situation that we have, that there is a age limit. I think the age limit is 35 years old. But that is for official scholarships. If you can find a group or join a group that has some funding, you do not need to worry about the scholarship because you can be funded through the projects of the group. So it also depends. It doesn't mean that you have already this limit, there is no more opportunity. No, please still pursue. And then you can find somebody, the professor that is right for you and can still support your your study.
Um,
And
yes, to
yes,
add to
please.
this, walang age limit per se. Actually, it really does depend on the professor and the laboratory. For instance, I have a lab mate. He's pushing 31 years old and kaka-masters niya pa lang. So, age, don't let age be a limit to what you're doing. And sure enough, kahit hindi siya nakakuha ng like yung next scholarship, he's applying for, and he's actually doing an interview right now for a private scholarship. So it's another, as you mentioned earlier, maraming avenues for funding here in Osaka University. So please keep that in mind.
Thank you very much.
There is a missed question.
Oh, sorry.
Bianca de Padua.
Oh, sorry, I missed Bianca de Padua. Do you need research experience to apply to the university for scholarship, asking for non-thesis undergraduate degree holders? Answer is no. Like Crystal earlier said, it's what you can. So it's potential, not what you can do, but what you can do after, what you can do now, but what you can do after. It's about the potential. So please apply. And Rowena, yes. Yes, please.
You can also enter as a research student before entering a graduate program. So research student before going to master student or PhD.
To add to that, please don't let your program restrict your education. Like, hindi mo kailang palaging sabihin na nalilimit ka ng, kasi wala akong undergraduate thesis or whatever. Most of the bachelor students who actually does come to my laboratory, kasi admittedly, bioinformatics is not a growing field in the Philippines. So yung ginagawa na lang nila is they show that they actually do have experience teaching themselves coding or self-learning or whatever. Yung gusto lang naman palagi makita ng mga researchers dito is that you have the passion, the drive, and the initiative to actually pursue research. And I think that counts for more in lack na wala kang mapapakitang like papeles na thesis. I think just showing your own initiative on pursuing research counts more than that.
Thank you very much. So next is, okay, from Amy Jean Lun Sayan. Good morning. Is it necessary to have, sorry, I already did this for a minute. Next is Vanessa. I'd like to ask for the steps and guidance regarding graduate courses for medicine and dentistry. Does Osaka University currently accept students? Thank you very much. So looking forward. Yes, in dentistry. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody here in dentistry, but they also accept students. For more details, they also have their own web page, so please look that up. And also, like I said, study at Osaka University, Google it, and then you will get some information. Going further, Yula Habiles. What are some of the challenges you experienced during the application process? What is the probability of getting accepted? And what are the common reasons for applicants not getting accepted to Osaka University? Any takers for this question? Okay, Chris.
Like for the challenges, I think the only difficult part is, so the question and answer is anything, any topics under the sun. Like in the department, like there are different laboratories, so all sense many professors from different lab would ask questions, and then there would be like you have to answer in a certain time within the day or different time, like even midnight or morning. But the process of application is fast, like within a month you'll get the result. And I think it's an advantage for Filipino students or applicants because yeah, you don't have to apply for the English proficiency, and then um, yeah, the probability of getting accepted, if you go through the university recommendation, it's most likely that you'll get the scholarship once you have a laboratory who's willing to host you. Like you just have to communicate with your professor, and if you have a good discussion with your professor or plan for your research, then he will support you for your application. So That's for my case. How about the others?
Siguro just to add like some diversity into this na lang. Actually hindi ako MEC scholar. So I tried applying for the scholarship, and true enough, as they said, it's really competitive. So I didn't actually make it in the first round. However, that didn't deter me from actually wanting to pursue my research here in OU. So what I did instead was I applied as a normal student. So nakipagsabakan ako sa mga Japanese students dito, and it's as hard as they say, mahirap siya. Pero sure enough, nakapasa ako. And I actually managed to supplant myself by, how do you say this? I managed to secure a university scholarship and the government scholarship. So I'm living rather comfortably right now. And to supplement this, as Osaka Bob, the mascot, said earlier, you can actually work part-time. So I'm actually working part-time right now as well, just like just to add to my living expenses lang din. So let's not make siguro, what I just really want to say is there are numerous avenues to get inside Osaka University and to conduct your research here in Japan. So don't let anything just hold you down.
Okay, so I think I run through all the other questions. Most like they're almost all answered already. Just would like to take one. How do you usually get contact with the potential professor supervisor? Like I just showed you earlier, Google is the best. Google has all the answers. And yes, and there's work experience required. No, hello from Diego. Hello, I'd like to ask if there's any work experience required for postgrad courses. No, not necessary. Defense, there is a problem. Yes, if you apply, it's possible. Yes. What's your advice on it? Usually all the advice are, I think, if you just is how to increase the chances of being accepted and so on, so on. That is the main objective, I think. So again, they already said is if you can find a professor, a lab that is willing to accept you, in most cases, it's, I say, 99.999% that you will be accepted. So I think all of the people here, they were lucky to find some professor or some lab who will accept them, and then everything followed after that. So that is the most important thing, is to initiate the first contact. Everything depends on you. So please, like everybody said here, do not hold back. Please shoot out. Shotgun. No, not shotgun, of course. Please pinpoint to somebody and then show them that you will get the added value to being a member in the. So then, positive. Anyway, on our part, it's education. So we just try to help you reach your full potential. And so for the rest of the questions, we will later on try again to answer you. And I think everything is answered. If there are any other people in the audience who would like to ask questions directly, anybody? If not, we thank you again for your time, and hopefully we see you here in Osaka soon. Okay, thank you very much. So I begin. Sayonara. Have a nice day. And please take care and stay safe.